Okay, so we're getting up there, sitting down, two dogs, no man. Don't know. I'm lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones. I live in a small place, and I live in housing. Lucky. One bedroom, small place, $160 a month. Got to pay my own heat. So people always talk about affordable housing. Affordable housing. There's another old man. Are you awake?
My what?
Awake? Here,
Yeah,
stand
I'm
up.
awake.
Sit down. Put.
Hi.
You're awake?
I'm awake.
You're awake. So
Yeah.
here, sit down there. You.
Oh,
You
she
gotta
can sit
put me
here.
and him. Sit down there. There. There you go.
There you go. Now you go back and forth.
So affordable housing.
Yeah.
So I didn't know affordable housing was. They say $1,400 a month. That's affordable.
Well, as far as the developers are concerned, 10% less than the going rate is called affordable. But as far as the people who need housing are concerned, affordability is a lot bigger question than that, and a lot bigger percentage. So, it really, look at the New Brunswick. New Brunswick is loaded with trees, softwood trees everywhere, and it's always had a huge problem of getting housing for its people, even though there's not even very many people here compared to the amount of trees. So, what's the problem? Why? How do you turn a tree into a house cheaply? Well, you can't do it in this system because the system is the problem. It's divided the tree, before the tree gets to be a house, it goes through so many steps. And all along the way the price is jacked up. All along the way profit is taken by
Don't
people.
the tree goes down the states? Isn't it grabbed by Irving and ship out?
Well, the tree goes down to the States and made into more products than it's made into in New Brunswick.
But the trees are controlled by big paper industry. It's not like the old days, cut the tree down and go build myself a house.
Well, the government could cut a tree down. I mean,
Anyway.
if the system prevents, because it's so divided up into so many different areas, so many different structures before the tree gets to be a house, then the cost is raised at every step of the way.
Yeah.
So by the
especially-
time it's made into a house, the house is so expensive
Yeah, but-
that nobody can afford
Yeah,
it.
but now, Ukraine and all that, the price of oil, everything is up. But price is not going to go down when the war is over. So they say affordable housing, again, $1,300, $1,400. How can that be affordable?
Okay, well, every time an economic boom hits Canada, it hits the Maritimes last.
Yeah.
And when it came to a housing boom, which began about 10 years ago, it started in Vancouver and then Toronto. And then all the other areas where there was profit to be made, that's where the housing boom spread to. But it always comes to New Brunswick and the Maritimes last because of less profits to be made here. So once they've exhausted most of the easy areas to get profit in the other parts of Canada, they then turn to New Brunswick. It's happened before, a number of times actually. So what happened is that the provincial government encouraged, or at least didn't stop, big development companies coming from other parts of the country to come here and build apartments where the rents were way down around like 600 and something for a one bedroom 3 years ago, and now it's close to 2,000 in some units. And so they allowed and so when they first came here, they just bought out places right, and then just jacked up the prices because it was a new ownership. So they were getting flack for that. So then they decided, or a part of their game, whatever, was to buy the places and renovate them, evict everybody out, renovate the place, and they got an excuse to jack the.
Yeah.
Now the rents went up 2 to 3 times in 3 years to what they were before, and so. Then now the government is a little bit worried, or at least they're acting like they're sort of worried, but they act like they had nothing to do with it. This is just the law of the land.
Is that the
type
way?
of system? The government's a little bit worried about affordability, but they can't even build a tiny house with no basement. They can't even build one of those that somebody can afford.
No.
So that's a real good example of how the system stands in the way of people. Just let me finish. The present economic structure stands in the way of people getting their houses.
Did I tell you I have ADHD?
So there are other alternatives. There's no reason why the government couldn't just decide, well, okay, the present, way of doing things of us going to Irving and buying the wood products during the pandemic level, the 2x4s went up to $10 each.
Oh yeah, it was high.
Right? But anyway, let me get straight to rents on this for a second.
Listen,
Let me finish. Let me finish. Please, let me finish. You asked me a question. If I wanted, okay, I won't finish the interview.
Listen, I did expect it.
Won't finish the interview. Sorry, Charlie.
No, hold it.
No.
How much does that play? We don't want to sound like racism. With all people coming from Ukraine and everything coming here in this country, is that playing a role with the high rent?
Of course.
It is.
Yes. A lot of factors are playing a role. For example, the inflation that's jacking things up now doesn't come from the same inflationary spot that it did in the economy way back in 79, 82. It comes from the sanctions program that the Americans and us and the British and everybody that we're tied in with has foisted on all these other countries that don't cooperate with us in the economic way we want them to. So that jacks up inflation rate as well. So, when the developers came in 3 years ago and started building places, the rent ceiling went up because the amount of money that they were charging for their buildings was way more than what was being charged here before that. So now, jacking up the rents is inflation. So not only when you build a new place now, not only is it going to cost you more because it's new, but it's going to cost you more because you're paying another 5-6% inflation on top of that. So it drives up the rent ceiling, right? That in turn, every time that rent ceiling goes up, it drags up the average rents because of profit taking. People are looking to raise their rent, right? So the rents keep going up. So the more you build right now under this kind of economy, the more that you build, the higher the rents are going to go for everybody.
Yeah. So we are really screwed.
Well, we're screwed, of course. We have to realize that you're screwed before you can go around the other way.
So what happens
before you
when
can,
we realize?
Be a retread with what's that?
What happens when we realize we're screwed? People don't. Number one, people are too stoned to get out of their house because of the sun. They say, "Oh, the sun, we can't protest because people won't go out. They're too stoned. Oh, the sun hurts me." Or say, "Hey, come and protest." "Oh no, I put my opinion on Facebook. I can't protest." "Oh no." So you got Stone and Facebook, and they won't go out. So how is people going to change stuff? To say enough is enough.
Well, Jesus, why don't you use Facebook?
Just
to begin with. Why don't you get together with all the other people that are using Facebook and feel the same way? That's what they're doing in every other country. Do it here, too.
Yeah, that's what they do here.
Well, good. Then get out on the street with it and show it.
But they
You
won't.
can all go out together.
But they won't.
I know, because they're scared. They're
I know.
brainwashed.
I know.
It's called brainwashing.
I know. But they condemn people, or they say the system and the government, but they won't show up in public and say, "Hey, this is not right." They won't do it.
Look, I've been speaking out for 5 decades. Is there anybody else out there?
I thought it was 8.
Huh?
I thought it was 8.
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay. So you turn around. No, but it's true. People don't listen. People won't. Especially
Look,
now.
we're consumerholics. All we care about is spending a paycheck at Walmart and going, and just leave me alone for the weekend while I can, clear my head, and then I'm going to go back to work.
You know, Thanksgiving down the States. Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They spend online $9 billion.
Yeah, well-
$9 billion.